Good afternoon, everybody. I wanted to record this video to talk about the reassessment opportunity that you have coming up next week. So I'll share my screen for starters here. So first thing, you've completed your standard 6 through 10 assessment, and you'll find down here in the 6 through 10 assessment information module, both a blank version of that assessment and importantly, the key. So I've made comments on the problems that you did, but then you can also click here and see all of my solutions to this assessment. So now that you've done an assessment over 1 through 5, an assessment over 6 through 10, I want to give you the opportunity to reassess on any standards where you want to improve your score. So clicking on the 1 through 10 reassessment information module, you'll see right here it says standards 1 through 10 reassessment, Wednesday, February 11th. So the reason that I combined standards 1 through 5 and 6 through 10 into a single reassessment is because this is an online class. And so I do want to be cognizant of how often I'm asking you to come in to take assessments and reassessments. So that's why I'm combining them. So the way that this will work is on February 11th, you'll go in just like on a normal assessment, and you let them know that you're there for my class, and they will hand you a packet, much like the assessments you already took, but it'll be longer because it's going to have questions from 1 through 10. They'll give you every single standard in that packet. What you're going to do is complete the standards that you want to improve upon, and then just leave any standards blank where you're already happy with your score. So as a rule of thumb, what I would say is if you have a not yet, which is a 0, a novice, which is a 1, or a developing, which is a 2, then you really do want to reassess on those standards. However, if you have a 3, which is proficient, or a 4, which is expert, then you don't need to. The only thing I would say is if you're going for a solid A in the class, then you might want to reassess on 3s as well. But definitely on 0s, 1s, and 2s, that's essential to reassess on. As you can have a number of 2s throughout the quarter, just not too many. And you can have a couple of 1s throughout the quarter, even after you reassess, but not many at all. But you don't want to start kind of putting those in the bank now, right? So anything that's a 0, 1, or a 2, definitely reassess on. I know that 10 standards is a lot to reassess on and remember what you need to do and what you don't need to do. So I do put a little note in the materials that I send to the testing center, letting them know that it's okay for you to have a little piece of paper that reminds you of which standards you need to reassess on and which ones you don't. And just like on the assessments, all of them will be labeled as to what standard they are assessing. And so it'll be easy to identify which problems you need to do and which ones you can leave blank. And as a reminder, from the beginning of the class, the reassessment scores will completely replace your original assessment scores. So it doesn't matter. Even if you have a 0, right, a not yet on a standard right now, if you get a 4, which is an expert on the reassessment, that's your new level of mastery for that standard, right? It completely replaces it. So it is absolutely worth your time to really make sure that any standards you want to improve your score on, you're feeling good about, that you go and you take the time to study it. You come see me during student hours with any questions that you have as you go through that process, or you drop into Math Care for All during the day as well. And so just a couple of reminders about coming to see me and coming to see Math Care for All. If you go to important links and documents, this is where you click to get to my student hours. Again, no appointments are necessary. You just drop in during these times. And then the Math Care for All between 9:30 a.m. and 3 p.m., click on there. It'll put you in a Zoom meeting with the Math Center. And as soon as they can get to you, they'll come and help. So those are both great options. finally, the last thing I just wanted to say, I believe there was one other thing, but now all of a sudden my memory is failing me, I'm afraid. Um, but oh yes, right, almost forgot. So remember that in the 6 through 10 assessment information, you have your 6 through 10 assessment preparation. That's a great one to go back and do for practice problems as you study for standards you want to reassess on. The same is true for the 1 through 5 assessment information module. There's that preparation assignment. You can always go back into old Newton Alta assignments and just do practice problems as well. That's a good way to go. And then any written assignments, of course, you can do practice problems. And then other times, if there's a standard that you're really not feeling good about, just like, man, from kind of jump, I wasn't feeling great about it, then now might not be a bad idea just to go back in. Let's take solve rational equations. Well, you could go back in and redo the video notes, right? Rewatch those video notes. I always have new electronic versions of the notes. So if I go to here, you can click on the notes and print out what the appropriate pages, right? So you could print out again pages 62 through 67. You could download it electronically onto a device that allows you to take notes. And you could just kind of go back through that from square one. That's a good strategy as well. And then, of course, don't forget about supplemental videos, right? Those are videos that are not made by me, they're made by others, but you might find helpful. And sometimes the way someone else explains something might be a better fit for you. So it's worth checking those out. But again, please reach out with any questions you have, and come and see me during student hours. And I'm really happy to help you through this as you get prepared to do those reassessments and bring up any scores that you want to bring up. All right, reach out if you have any questions, and have a great day.